Imagine holding a camera that blends the raw power of the Sony A1, the advanced video capabilities of Sony's FX cinema line, and the affordability and accessibility of the Alpha 7 lineup. That combination almost sounds too good to be true. But according to the latest leaks and rumors, that might just be what Sony is preparing with the upcoming Sony A7V. For months, the photography and filmmaking community has been buzzing with speculation. Forums, insider reports, and leaked images have all pointed toward a camera that could completely redefine what we expect from a mid-tier full-frame mirrorless body. In this video, we're going deep into everything we know so far about the Sony A7V. We'll look at the rumored design changes, possible sensor upgrades, new AI-driven features, the video specs that could blow the competition out of the water, and even the potential release date and price. By the end of this breakdown, you'll have a crystal clear picture of whether this is the camera you should be waiting for, or if Sony is just teasing us with hype that won't live up to the reality. So let's begin with the design, because that's often the first thing creators care about when deciding if a camera will fit into their workflow. According to recently leaked images, the Sony A7V is expected to feature a fully articulating 4-way screen. This is a huge deal, especially for hybrid creators. If you're a vlogger who needs to see yourself while recording, or a filmmaker working in tight spaces, an articulating screen is not just a convenience, it's almost a necessity. Sony has been criticized in the past for sticking with tilting screens that limited flexibility, so if this rumor proves accurate, it shows that they're finally listening to creator feedback. And here's the interesting part. While the body is getting some refinements, Sony seems to be sticking with the same top plate design as the A7V. That means we won't see a radical redesign like the oversized grip and larger body of the A1 Mark II or the A9 III. Instead, the A7V looks to be maintaining the balance between compact size and professional ergonomics. Some may see that as a missed opportunity, but for many shooters who value portability, it's a win. Another leak that caught people's attention is the dual card slot configuration. The A7V is rumored to include dual SD card slots with support for Type A cards, just like the higher-end Sony models. This is a must-have for professionals. It means you can record to both cards simultaneously for backup or split your workflow. For example, sending stills to one card and video to another. Reliability and speed are everything on set, and Sony seems to be making sure the A7V doesn't cut corners here. If you zoom into the leaked photos, you'll also notice the control wheels appear very similar to those on the A1 II. That suggests Sony is standardizing its user interface across multiple camera lines, making it easier for photographers and videographers to switch between models without constantly relearning the controls. But of course, what really makes or breaks a new camera isn't just the body design. It's what's inside the camera that matters most. And this is where things start to get really exciting. Multiple sources point to the A7V featuring a 33-megapixel sensor. At first glance, you might say, isn't that the same as the A7 IV? Yes, but here's the twist. Insiders suggest this won't be the exact same sensor. Instead, Sony may be introducing a tweaked or even partially stacked version of that chip. What does stacked mean in practical terms? It means the sensor is designed with layers of memory that allow for much faster data readout. Faster readout translates into reduced rolling shutter, better performance in high-speed shooting, and most importantly, far superior video quality. Now, while some rumors still stick with the 33-megapixel figure, others hint that Sony may surprise us with a 44-megapixel sensor. That would put it closer to the resolution of the A7R line, making it a true hybrid between high-resolution photography and video performance. Imagine having the flexibility to shoot detailed landscape images at 44 megapixels and then immediately switch to buttery smooth 4K 120 FPS video, all in one body. That's the kind of hybrid capability creators dream about. Speaking of speed, burst shooting is another area where the A7V could dramatically improve. The A7V topped out at 10 frames per second, which was fine but not groundbreaking. Rumors now suggest the A7V could double that, offering up to 20 frames per second. That kind of performance is a huge step forward for sports and wildlife photographers who rely on split-second timing. When every frame matters, being able to capture twice as many shots in the same window of action could make the difference between a missed opportunity and a portfolio-worthy image, but it's not just still photography that's getting the upgrade. Video capabilities are rumored to be one of the standout features of the A7V. According to insiders, this camera could record 4K at 120 frames per second, uncropped. That's a big deal. Many competing cameras can shoot 4K at high frame rates, but often with heavy crops that limit your field of view. Having full-frame uncropped 4K 120 opens up creative possibilities for slow-motion filmmaking without sacrificing image quality. On top of that, improvements in dynamic range are expected, giving filmmakers more flexibility in grading and color correction. Rolling shutter, a common complaint with the A7V, should also see massive improvements thanks to faster readout speeds. And then there's autofocus. Sony is already known for having some of the best autofocus systems in the industry, but the A7V could take things even further. Rumors point to the inclusion of a dedicated AI processing chip. This wouldn't just be a small upgrade, it could fundamentally change how the camera sees and tracks subjects. Imagine autofocus that doesn't just detect faces and eyes, but can also recognize animals, vehicles, or even gestures. Imagine predictive tracking that anticipates where your subject is moving, keeping them locked in focus even in unpredictable situations. For filmmakers, vloggers, and photographers alike, this could be a revolutionary leap. Now let's talk about timing and pricing, because those are the details that everyone is waiting for. According to multiple rumor sites, the Sony A7V is expected to be announced in late 2025, with October or November being the most likely timeframe. Interestingly, Sony is hosting a B-Alpha event in Barcelona this month, and many in the community are speculating that we could see a teaser or even a full reveal there. As for pricing, leaks suggest the A7V will come in around $3,000. That's definitely more expensive than the A7IV at launch, which was closer to $2,500. But it's still significantly cheaper than Sony's flagship models like the A1 or A9 III, which cost far more. Considering the rumored upgrades, $3,000 could be an incredible value for what you're getting. Now the big question, should you wait for the A7V? If you already own the A7IV and are satisfied with its performance, the A7V will certainly be tempting, but maybe not essential. The A7 IV is still a phenomenal camera that continues to hold up well against the competition. But if you're using an older body like the A7 III, the A7V might be the perfect upgrade. The jump in speed, the rumored video improvements, and especially the AI features could make a world of difference in your work. The A7 III was revolutionary when it launched, but technology has moved on. The A7V looks set to deliver that same kind of leap forward. Of course, we have to keep in mind that all of this is still based on leaks and rumors. Until Sony officially announces the camera, nothing is guaranteed. Specs can change, release dates can be delayed, and sometimes companies even scrap features at the last minute. But if even half of what we're hearing turns out to be true, the Sony A7V could easily become one of the most exciting and talked about cameras of the year. So now I want to hear from you. What do you think about the rumored Sony A7V? Are you excited about the AI chip and the possibility of 4K 120 uncropped video? Or do you think Sony should have focused on pushing resolution higher to compete with other high-megapixel cameras? Drop your thoughts down in the comments because I'd love to hear where you stand. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the rumors and leaks, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Because we'll be covering every new leak, every insider report, and of course, the official announcement the moment it happens. This is the future of mirrorless cameras, and the Sony A7V might just be the next big step. Stay tuned, because the best is yet to come.